Hey y'all, my name's Maria and this is my pathway to literacy. So growing up, Spanish was my first language and it was really difficult for me to learn how to read and write in English. It wasn't until the first grade that I learned and I felt comfortable enough with English. After school, I would get home and watch Arthur, followed by an episode of Between the Lions. And even though I didn't really understand what was being said, those were the two shows that helped me develop my English acuity. My parents did not speak English, so it was hard for them to help me with my homework. I remember my mom used pictures and a little bit of English that she knew to help me read the stories that I brought home from school, and we would sit together and read during evenings. This influenced me to become more visually inclined and less auditory. So when I got to middle school, we had reading competitions that were mostly based on comprehension. Therefore, my attention went completely into comprehending the material rather than questioning and critiquing it. In middle school, we read books like The Giver. The teacher read the book out loud, and that seemed to be a lot better for me because I could follow along with my own copy of the book. At the same time, I picked up the first book in Lemony Snicket's series of unfortunate events. I thoroughly enjoyed the series because of its darkness and eerie feel. Reading books with a devious character like Olaf instilled in me the willingness to question the intentions behind a character's actions. By the time I got to high school, I had begun to hate reading long and complex chapter books because I felt like I never had enough time with a book. I am a very slow reader, and this often put me way behind on classwork. Even if the books were interesting, it took me a long time just to get through the books because visually, seeing so many words on one page filled me with anxiety. Because it took me a lot longer to process and digest the text, way longer than my other classmates, I was quickly discouraged from reading. Luckily, this was around the same time that I was introduced to comic books and graphic novels. My first graphic novel was Maus, which depicts the story of a Jewish Holocaust survivor. I realized that history did not have to be in a textbook form, nor a chapter book. The illustrations of Maus and the limited amount of text on each page removed the stress of not having enough time to read, and it helped me enjoy the book and understand it on a whole other level. My greatest turning point was while taking a 2-year Theory of Knowledge course. In this class, we questioned everything we knew. The essential question was, how do you know what you know and how do you prove it? This was the first time in my life that I was constantly in search of truth and breaking down everything that I once believed to be true. Religion is an example of this. My parents were not very happy about me questioning their beliefs, but I believe it was excellent for me, intellectually. Fast forward to present time, college has helped me to foster my interest in social justice issues. Because of my passion and commitment to those issues, I've become more critical of history and the existing power structures and systems. Throughout my analysis, I've come to realize that strong context seems to be the key that allows me to engage in critical thought. I loved graphic novels because of the additional information the artwork was able to portray. I loved questioning religion because I knew real people and real minds that were molded by that type of thinking. And I love to think critically about societal issues and power structures because I care about the real-life groups that depend on them. So that is my pathway to literacy, and thanks for listening.